Hello Guardians, it is Ebontis here, and Festival of the Lost is just around the corner. So Bungie felt like dropping us a little bit of information today. They'll probably have more in this week at Bungie this afternoon, so I'll cover if there's anything new. We also have the podcast tomorrow morning. That's going to be 9 a.m. Eastern on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Ebontis. So the Last Word podcast covering this and everything going on with Bungie and Destiny 2 in the last couple of weeks. Tune in there. But right now, let's watch the trailer for Festival of the Lost 2020.
Hello again. Lots has happened since we last met, Make the most of this time while you have it. Tomorrow is uncertain, but we always have today.
All right, so on Bungie.net, they did drop a new kind of, sub web page for Festival of the Lost. It is going to be free to everybody. It goes from October 6th through November 3rd. So just be aware it's basically for the next 4 weeks, starting on Tuesday's reset. And it will end a week before Beyond Light comes out. So we will be experiencing this for a month. So there's no need to rush the stuff I'm talking about. You'll probably have plenty of time to go for what you want to. But the event itself, if you are new, we celebrate those we've lost. Ava Levante has returned as the herald of Festival of the Lost. This holiday is a time for Guardians to indulge their sweet tooth, don irreverent masks, and celebrate the memories of those we have lost. The pyramid ships loom, Europa awaits, and darkness beckons. But for now, return to the tower, grab some candy, and remind yourself what we're fighting for. So it's always a cool event. The tower is very decorated up. You've got the big tree in the middle. Ava Levante is going to be there. All the lanterns and candles and stuff. It's really cool. One of the coolest, honestly, atmospheric looks for the tower, I would probably say, because they give it kind of the festival look, but also let it kind of have the dark and gloomy Halloween. It's a really cool combination. So definitely jump in, see what the tower looks like. Now, what are we going to be doing? To no surprise, honestly, because they are focused on Beyond Light, they're not going to make this event drastically new. That's kind of what I expected. So, keep your anticipation in check. They said the activity is going to be secrets in the forest. The haunted forest is open once again. And this time, the spider wants to bargain for your cooperation. Meet him, line your pockets with cipher decoders, and then race the clock within the dark corridors of the haunted forest. Keep your wits about you, and there may be more than one treasure chest waiting for you at the end. I'll kind of cover how that works when we get to the end. But overall, we are going back into the haunted forest, likely for the last time, because Mercury is going into the Destiny content vault. Now, I don't know if they specifically can say, hey, you can go roam around in the infinite forest whenever they want to. I don't know if they would do that for future events after they've vaulted Mercury, but potentially this is the last time the Halloween event is going to be in the haunted forest. Now, we've done this for a couple of years. You go through there, you've got a certain amount of time to clear as many sections of the haunted forest as possible. You'll be beating some bosses and terrors in there. The more of those you beat, the better off you're going to be. As long as you beat like 5, it's usually not that big of a deal. At the end of that, there's going to be a chest that you're going to be able to open up, going for some gear, and we'll cover that here in just a little bit. They also are going to have some new stuff at Eververse. They say a new exotic sparrow, ship, and ghost are all wrapped up and ready for your collection. They're literally wrapped up. They all look like they've been mummy wrapped, which is kind of cool. There's also new triumphs to unlock, new masks to wear, and more chances to get a perfect roll with new perk possibilities on the Braytech Werewolf and the Horror Story auto rifles. We'll get to it a little bit later. I don't know until we actually get into the game to see what the infusion level on these weapons are going to be, because they are older weapons. Now, if they're going to up the infusion level for these weapons kind of the same way they did some of the raid gear to give it like a longer lifespan going into year 4, that's likely something they would do, is because this is some of the last new weapons that we're going to be seeing dropping into the game before Beyond Light launches. And if I get something, 3 weeks before the expansion launches and it can't infuse to go into the next season alone, that would be kind of surprising. So while the icons, which we'll show in a second, do look to be older icons, I still have to assume that these hopefully are going to be infusable. At least the new ones that drop in the coming event, like in, a week, are going to be available to use, hopefully, in Beyond Light and forward. Now, I don't know if they're going to be God rolls, but they sometimes can be pretty good. The masks that we're going to be able to get all seem fairly cool. We'll go through the ones that you've got. But that's always kind of a cool thing. You get to have the cosmetic look of enemies in the game, be it captains or Ava or the Stranger is one of them. So the masks are always fun. You'll have your one like base mask, and then you'll have ornaments that you can put on top to change the look. So your mask is going to serve as your functionality piece, and then the ornaments are going to go on top, which is nice. They finally did change that. My favorite part is the triumphs themselves, but not even that. But the triumphs are going to lead to this emblem. This emblem is fantastic. I don't know if I'm ever going to take this thing off when I get it, just because it looks so cool. You get the pyramid ships and the kind of the darkness in the background, the black and white color, and just that little skull over the pyramid itself. It looks really cool. And as we're going into Beyond Light, the pyramid ships are about to like take 4 planets somehow out of the game if they tie some lore into it. Overall, this emblem is probably the thing I'm most excited about. And that may be stupid for an emblem, because normally I'm not, but they nailed this one, I gotta say. Completely, totally excited for this emblem. They also said there's going to have some stylish gear, so embody the spirit of the festival with a new line of spooky universal armor ornaments. These are all going to be from Eververse, so keep that in mind. The sets of armor from Eververse typically are going to be anywhere from $10 to $15 if you buy them by silver. Bright Dust is usually 6,000 per set, so these won't be cheap if you want them. So again, figure out what character you like the most, and probably going to have to roll with that one. Titan up here in the middle with the chains wrapped around it, some different colors. Kind of looks like Frankenstein, kind of hodgepodge put together. On the left, you've got almost like a werewolf look, I think, is kind of what they're going for, at least with the helm. And then, of course, you've got the breather in front, but you've got the fur kind of on the shoulders. Kind of mostly the subtle one that I could see here. Cloak might look cool, just have to see. And then on the right, that Warlock looks kind of fire, because it's basically like a tuxedo Dracula. You got the little bit of teeth in front with almost the fangs kind of on the sides if you zoom in on a little bit of detail. Overall, these 3 look really cool, but I probably wouldn't buy them all. Again, they're going to be ornaments, so you can use them whenever you want, most likely. But still, I think the Warlock may have won this one just because you're freaking Dracula. It's hard to beat that. Now, the other piece they do have up is the Festival of the Lost guide, which is just going to give some basic tips and like what the event's going to have and how things are going to work. You do have to be achieved power level 770, so you got to play the game for at least a few minutes and escape the Cosmodrome. It's usually not too hard. We are confirmed going back in the Haunted Forest for what likely is going to be the final time. I'm glad it's the final time, but I didn't expect anything different this time around. You have the match-made and the non-match-made Haunted Forest. Now, one thing they are saying is there's kind of a new way to work the chests. You've got cipher decoders, and then you've got the standard chest. So when you enter the Haunted Forest, you've got 15 minutes to clear branches, defeat terrors, and collect both candy and chocolate strange coins. That's all going to be for all the Ava Levante bounties and things. Players may then return to Ava Levante in the tower and get Festival of Lost rewards. That's where we'll be buying those. But while you go through the Haunted Forest, they said alongside a completion rewards chest at the end of Haunted Forest, players will also find 5 optional caches available to unlock. These caches can only be opened by using cipher decoders, which can be acquired via random world drops and activity completions outside the Haunted Forest. So picture public events, strike completions, stuff of that nature in the game that you'll probably need to go do just to be able to have enough cipher decoders, so when you go into the Haunted Forest, you can open all of these. So it's kind of a mix, again, of going into the Haunted Forest. Once you've got enough cipher decoders, spend some time in there, go jump back out, play some strikes, maybe Crucible. It's likely most of your normal activities in the game that are going to give you cipher decoders. But you do have a chance to get both Horror Story and Braytech Werewolf from these. As I said, the icons on these are older, but I have to assume they're going to update these things for, this current season. If they don't at least work as a Season 11 weapon would, I would be very, very surprised, but I could be wrong. I said each cache requires 1 cipher decoder to open and can contain legendary gear. So I'm assuming that's mostly just the weapons. Or if not, it's armor, which I'm not entirely sure what that's going to be, just a basic roll. Random rolls in the Braytech Werewolf and Horror Story auto rifles, masks, and Festival of the Lost shaders. Up to 5 caches can be opened per Haunted Forest. So depending on how quickly these cipher decoders drop, may depend on how long you go spend in, say, the strike playlist or doing public events, whatever else you got to do. Then once you have a decent chunk of those caches, then you could do some, back-to-back runs in the Haunted Forest and get a lot of drops in there. That would be the general idea. Rewards from Ava Levante, you're going to have candy and chocolate strange coins, buying probably a couple things from her. And then, of course, you're going to have her bounties to deal with as well. For masks this time around, we've got the Fractured Traveler, The Varix mask, which is kind of cool because we've got the knowledge that Varix is going to be in Beyond Light, kind of one of our story characters. We've got the Stranger, we've got Anna Bray, so those are actually potentially sisters. I don't know if that's ever 100% been confirmed, but who knows. We've got the Wrapped Traveler, kind of like a mummy version of the Traveler, and then the Bubbling mask, basically it looks like your head looks like a cauldron that's kind of like slightly tipping over and full of stuff. Overall, I'm digging them. Mostly want the Varix and Exo mask, Anna Bray. You know, I don't know if she's actually going to be coming back to the tower. She might, to my understanding, so we will have to see. Finally, for rewards, these are going to be likely ones from Eva Levante. Whether you need a certain amount of stuff to get them, if you're going to have to buy them, I'm not sure. I know the armor ornaments, those are most likely going to be in Eververse. I'm hoping the shell, the sparrow, and the ship, which kind of put those icons on screen as best as I can. They all seem to be pretty mummy wrapped. Those are likely going to be coming from, hopefully, Eva Levante if you get enough of the currency to buy them. Hopefully that's the way it goes. But you've got the Masquerade helmet, and that's how you're going to have your functionality on those with like different buffs. And you can choose higher purpose, which is going to give you 3 different buffs as you level it up. Significant damage resistance while airborne, significantly increased damage to all enemies, increase the drop chance of heavy ammo on kill. Sorry, apparently can't talk. Then you've got Vampiric Touch, significantly increased damage to challenging enemies. Precision kills trigger health regeneration, increase the drop chance of heavy ammo. They all do that, by the way. And then Energetic Assassin. Precision kills grant grenade and melee energy, significantly increased damage to terrors. Now, terrors are like the bosses you fight towards the end. But if you're trying to actually make it through the branches, probably the challenging enemies, the Vampiric Touch, is going to be the one that I would imagine works the best because the increased damage to all enemies isn't bad, but the significantly increased damage to challenging enemies seems kind of weird because now getting the health regeneration back also may be worth it. So probably between Vampiric Touch and Higher Purpose is what I would assume would probably be better. The terrors usually are not overly difficult to kill unless you're just going for, like Glad, going for like a record run to try and kill as many bosses in a run as possible for fun. Usually only need to kill a certain number of bosses to unlock all the chests. Anything over the top of that is just bonus. So that's really up to you. And that pretty much wraps everything up for Festival of the Lost, guys. So the trailer is cool. I love the rock. I don't know if they're going to have that rock music in the tower, but you're going to get chances at a couple good rolls on auto rifles. We'll see how big that perk pool is once the, kind of databases get filled in. Got some cool armor ornaments, hopefully some cosmetics that we're going to be able to earn from Eva Levante, the ship, the shader, and the sparrow, or the ghost, sorry, the ghost, the shader, the sparrow, and the ship. I can't talk. And that pretty much wraps it up. I'm trying to cram this video in before work, so thank you guys. But Festival of Lost starts next week. It's going to be October 6th to November 3rd, and then we will have that final week before Beyond Light launches. So tune in next week, see what happens, and I will get you guys an update once it is live. So look for a video from me on Tuesday. I will see you guys then. You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, on Ebontis is both. On Twitch, as I said, the Last Word Podcast, episode number 122. We're going to be live 9 a.m. tomorrow morning, so grab your coffee and grab a seat around the campfire. We got IRL Guardian joining us. If you've ever seen him before, he does all like the real life animations. They kind of overdubs with cool effects to them. So we're going to be talking to him in the morning. Other than that, if you haven't subbed to the channel before and you enjoyed the video, drop a like below if you enjoyed the video. Leave a comment if you just want to say hello, and drop a sub and an alert bell on the channel. More videos coming to you. Thank you very much. Have a good one. I'll see you soon.